Greetings and happy summer season to our viewing audience. And once again, welcome to another special edition episode of Miko Media Special Edition News. This is the CEO of the world's first LGBTQ exclusive talent agency and production company, your boy Miko, back at you once again, providing the very best in the latest news and happenings that's going on within the LGBT community, starting with the Atlanta area and of course abroad. For more information about what's happening throughout this Pride season, please check out the information that's located at the bottom of your screen. And of course, you know, I always got to have a special guest on our show, but this is a returning guest. He's been with us for the longest time, and we're so proud to have been media partners with this organization. We have the executive director of the Out Georgia Business Alliance, Georgia's only an official LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce, and he's back with us to talk about the upcoming 2022 Power Summit that they have every year. So let me actually unmute him and get him on the airwaves. What's going on, Chris?
Hey, Miko, it's amazing to be here, like always, with you virtually via Zoom, but it's amazing. We love you, Miko, and can't wait to catch up and dive in a little bit more into our business summit that's coming up next week.
I know. I think the last time that we actually had a chance to really get together as when you all actually did your very first in-person event during the summer season of this year and everything, which went fabulously well because it was at the Monday Night Brewery. And y'all, that place is fabulous because we got our drink on, and it was just absolutely awesome. We had a chance to meet the new board for this year because y'all had a whole new board. Y'all had some additions to the board this year and everything. And so it's just so awesome and everything like that. So it was good to see you and to see Out Georgia back doing things in person again and stuff like that. Give us a little bit of a recap about that experience and about your experience.
Absolutely. Thanks, Miko, for the cut up there. So we had our first kind of kickoff and membership drive event back at the end of March, and that was in Atlanta's historic West End, Monday Night Brewing's garage space, and it was really fantastic. We haven't been to that space and that part of town before for an official event, so we're really looking at ways for the Out Georgia Business Alliance that we continue to gut check ourselves on, not only representation kind of up and down the organization. As you mentioned, we had a moment to introduce many of our new board members. About half of our board right now is brand new to the organization, sharing their talents, expertise, and perspectives with us. But we also are looking at ways that we're gut checking, you know, who we're putting in front of our members when it comes to our events, when it comes to speakers and content, but also, you know, where we're actually bringing those experiences for our members. You know, if we were kind of looking back at the history of the organization, you know, much of the experiences were certainly centered in Midtown for a variety of, you know, reasons, and we're wanting to get out and about around Atlanta, around Metro Atlanta, but also beyond. So while we had that event in the historic West End earlier this year, we were actually able to come to your spot in East Atlanta back in April. And this event that's coming up next month, we're actually going to be out at Truist Park, which is, you know, northwest side of Atlanta as you're approaching Smyrna and Marietta, home of the Atlanta Braves. But we're also looking at some other opportunities to bring some events to Savannah, to Macon, to Augusta, and a number of other locations. It's been, since we last chatted, we've been, you know, experiencing a pretty hectic and busy Pride Month, June Pride Month, and a lot has been going on in the world, period, but also within our LGBTQ plus community here in the state of Georgia. So it's been really cool. We've gotten out into the Columbus Pride festival at the beginning of the month.
Wow.
We were able to get out and support the Augusta Pride Festival, the Gwinnett Pride Festival, and a handful of others that were happening in June. There are a lot of Pride festivals that happen here in the state of Georgia.
Yeah, because June is since it is LGBT Pride Month, and it's also always the annual Stonewall anniversary.
That's right.
A lot of cities around the world tend to have their Pride events during the month of June, and I know Atlanta used to be like that until
Right.
of course the change that happened during that year, that we had to change from June to October, and which in my opinion kind of made it better, because that way it's like Atlanta kind of had its own little arena, and we wasn't jumbled up with the rest of the cities during the month of June. Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good thing, but it's good to know that you all had a chance to actually go out and go to Columbus Pride and be a part of that. How was that experience?
Yeah, it was really wonderful. So we, if I take a step back, we used to be known as the Atlanta Gay and Lesbian Chamber of Commerce. And the end of 2019 is when we updated our mission, our scope, and our branding to reflect a statewide organization and the Outdoor to Business Alliance as our brand. And, of course, just a few months later, or just a couple months later, we were hit with a global pandemic that kind of pumped the brakes, of course, on some of our physical outreach and our physical, event presence and programming presence around the state. Now that we're more comfortable with getting out in person and bringing some of those experiences to life at locations around Atlanta and beyond, it's important for us to kind of take our time to get to know different communities and introduce ourselves. So getting out to Columbus at the beginning of June was really wonderful to meet the folks that are leading the Columbus Pride organization and the efforts down there. I believe it was their 9th annual festival, and it was the biggest it's ever been.
Wow.
I was really surprised at how many folks were out in a good way, because I didn't really have context and expectations. I'm still relatively new to Georgia, so I'm learning a whole lot as Out Georgia expands as well. But it was really wonderful to see folks, young and old, of every kind of experience, kind of decked out in their Pride gear and really kind of showing out in the middle of downtown Columbus on their main drag for everyone to see was really, really powerful. And I'll also say there were so many churches that were out, and it was, for me, really meaningful to have those churches and faith leaders who were out, who were vocal about welcoming folks from across the spectrum of our community, and to be out there in support of, and really, spreading the word that folks are welcome at their congregations and their churches. So I thought that was really powerful, because we know that faith is such a important aspect of many folks' lives, and especially here in Georgia. And I think that kind of message is really resonating with folks, especially when we're having a June where we have a lot of other things that are weighing on our mind nationally as well as locally when it comes to protections, violence. It's unfortunate that we're seeing what we are, but it is the reality. And to have those beacons of hope, come from the faith community and other leaders. The mayor of Columbus was out to read a proclamation on behalf of the city of Columbus and the city council there, acknowledging Columbus Pride and the festival on that particular day. So it's really wonderful to see those leaders and that community come together in support of folks, again, young and old, and every kind of facet of our community. And also just really cool to see all the businesses that were out as well.
You know what? I had a chance to go to Columbus for the first time, but I never had a chance to participate in that Pride before. And this was like back during the late 90s. I think the early part of the millennium, late 90s, early part of the millennium. And, Columbus is actually one of the rural towns of our state. And so to hear all of this, to see how Columbus has evolved, even in their, participation, the city of Columbus, even in their participation as it relates to the LGBTQ plus community, and especially to hear the faith leaders being out there in solidarity with us. Keep in mind, this is still the Confederate South. And so to see, to see that big of a turnout for their pride is very, very encouraging and also inspiring. Continue.
I would say it is encouraging and inspiring. And, also acknowledging that there's a lot of work to do. There in Columbus, across the state of Georgia, rural and otherwise, here in the city of Atlanta, we have a lot of work to do to make sure that folks are safe, first and foremost, that they're safe to be their full selves, their authentic and beautiful selves, but also to live their lives in every part of society in a free and welcoming way. So I think we've got these beacons of hope, and to be honest, I'll even reference when I was driving out to Augusta, so for their Pride Festival, for me it was about a 2.5-hour drive or so from Atlanta out to Augusta, where I am. And that was also, right when the Roe v. Wade strike down happened.
Absolutely.
And was announced. And of course, we had a preview of that much earlier in the year when that decision document was leaked, or the opinion was leaked. But once that came down and the reality of that hit, and not only incredibly damaging and dangerous and deadly for mothers and women, but also trans men, non-binary folks who are able to give birth, and it was weighing incredibly heavy on me. I was listening to the news on the way out. I found moments of just crying, because I was like, what is going on in our world? And it was also just a few weeks before, or a couple weeks before that, I believe, there was a vehicle that was stopped in Idaho of a group of, I believe, 30 white supremacists who were dressed in gear to go and disrupt the Pride Festival.
Absolutely.
Out that way. So, just and of course, there was mass shootings in May. There was just a mass shooting in Chicago, or just north of Chicago. I used to live up there. At a parade just a couple of days ago for a 4th of July parade. There's a lot that is incredibly a lot of despair and hopelessness, it seems. But I will say, when you pull up to, a Columbus Pride or an Augusta Pride or Gwinnett Pride and Rome Pride, and those areas that are getting those celebrations and that visibility off the ground, it's inspiring, to be honest. And it's inspiring to walk into a crowd where it's a diverse. The Augusta crowd was huge. I think it's the biggest it's ever been. I want to say the Augusta Pride celebration is in its 12th year. It's the biggest it's ever been. They had 14 or 15,000 people over the course of the weekend. I was flabbergasted. It was amazing. It was also a really diverse crowd. And again, you've got little tykes, you've got folks who are maybe just now coming into their experience and their identity, expressing themselves in a safe space. And that really kind of turned my mood around on that day, because it was kind of bleak, after we were hearing the Supreme Court decisions and the signaling of what is probably to come. So let me pause there, but those Pride festivals give you a lot of inspiration, and I'm really proud to see those communities continuing to prioritize safety and visibility of their folks.
I am so excited to even hear those news, because like I said, being born and raised in Atlanta, and being here before Atlanta became the ATL, before the Olympics came and everything like that, not hearing that there was a pride in these rural areas in our state. I say, the only pride that we knew about was, of course, Atlanta Pride, Atlanta Black Gay Pride, and of course Savannah Pride. Those are the only two prides that we knew, or three prides that we knew within the two cities here in our state. But and then of course we started hearing about Athens. Athens was the first, and then but like I said, here, Rome, Georgia, Augusta, Columbus, I'm just loving the growth and the expansion that we are having as a community here in the rural South. So thank you so much for sharing that. And I'm hoping that everybody that's listening to us is getting the same type of encouragement and inspiration that we are feeling at right now. When we come back, we're going to take our only commercial break. When we come back, we're going to dig deep into the Power Summit that's going to be held next week at the legendary Truist Park, the home of the Atlanta Braves. And as a matter of fact, Out Georgia, you all was actually one of the sponsors for this year's LGBT night for the Atlanta Braves. And from what I heard from someone else who actually attends the LGBT night annually every year or every baseball season, this was the first time that the Atlanta Braves actually won.
Yeah, it was like in the bottom of the ninth too. They pulled it out last minute.
Yeah, they did. They put it out last minute, and that was my first time attending, a game at Truist Park, and also my mom, because I brought my mom with me as well, because you saw her, and you brought your mom with you as well. I want to give a shout out to your mother as well. Still looking beautiful at her age. Love it.
That's right.
We're going to take our only commercial break, and when we come back, we have more with the executive director of Georgia's only LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce, Brother Chris Lugo, right here on the Meak Pro Media Special Edition News. Don't go anywhere. We have more in store.
You're tuned in to Meak Productions syndicated shows. Don't go anywhere. We do have more in store.
Get ready to take a bite of PeachATL. PeachATL is Gay Atlanta's longest running LGBTQ business certified weekly magazine. We deliver the best in community events, arts, gay culture, and entertainment. Get weekly high-profile celebrity interviews and coverage of the most important events and festivals, such as Out on Film, Toy Party, Joining Hearts Pool Party, and all Pride festivals in Atlanta. We distribute all across Metro Atlanta to reach thousands of weekly readers right where they shop, live, and play. Go to PeachATL.com for the digital issue and exclusive content, even if you don't have access to a physical copy. Once again, go to PeachATL.com to learn more and get your bite of Gay Atlanta.
Hey there, this is George Carlton, President of the Metro Atlanta Association of Professionals. Are you looking to expand your business, seeking employment connections, or want to grow your professional network but don't love traditional networking? The MAAP is right for you. As Atlanta's first LGBTQ+ business association, we pioneered partnerships and networking with Atlanta's leading changemakers to help you connect authentically, in person and online, with people from diverse industries, identities, and histories. For more information about membership and being part of our legacy, visit our website at www.maapatl.org. Once again, that's maapatl.org. We look forward to connecting with you real soon.
Meak Productions is proud to be an official media partner for this organization.
Greetings, this is Joshua Luke, your editor-in-chief of the newest global media platform for professional African-American gay men. eBay Man embodies the work of CEOs, entrepreneurs, industry experts, community leaders, and change agents who seek to elevate lives and change the perception of the LGBTQ community. And eBay Man is a blend of two cultures coming together to embody the affluent, professional black gay man. For subscription information and updated news, visit ebayman.com. Once again, www.ebayman.com.
eBay Man is the first historic media partner for History of Black Gay America.
Hello everyone, this is Chris Lugo, Executive Director of the Out Georgia Business Alliance, Georgia's only chamber of commerce serving the LGBTQ+ community and our allies. Formerly known as the Atlanta Gay and Lesbian Chamber of Commerce, Out Georgia serves the community by advocating for the most inclusive and equitable business environment, providing support and resources to fuel economic growth, and driving meaningful community connections and impact across the state of Georgia. For more information about membership and the legacy of our organization, please visit outgeorgia.org. Once again, that is outgeorgia.org. We look forward to serving and networking with you soon.
Meak Productions is proud to be an official media partner for this organization.
And welcome back to the last half of our special news episode of Meak Pro Media Special Edition News, right here with our returning guest, of course, Chris Lugo, Executive Director of Georgia's only LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce, the Out Georgia Business Alliance. For more information about how to be a part of the upcoming annual Power Connect that's going to be happening on next week, please check out the information located at the bottom of your screen. And if you're listening to us via audio, once again, the website is www.outgeorgia.org. Once again, that's outgeorgia.org. For more information about our previously broadcast shows and about our organization, please check out the information located at the bottom of your screen. Once again, that's www.meak as in kite productions with an s.lgbt. We have a new domain name. Once again, that's www.meak as in kite productions with an s.lgbt. Want to give a shout out to Pride Domains. They are the official stewards of making sure that LGBT organizations have this new domain name at the end of their web address. So I want to give them a shout out as well. Chris, you still with us?
I am, Miko, and I'm so excited to share a bit more about our upcoming business summit. It's next week, and we've got so many incredible things happening. I think folks are going to love it a lot.
Yeah, let's get started with that. You know, this is going to be an sort of like a dual hybrid summit, and it's going to be awesome because, of course, the first day is going to be actually, you know, a virtual summit, and then the second day is going to be the actual in-person expo. So that's going to be wonderful. Of course, Meak Pro Media is going to be there to do live coverage and interviews and stuff, and we're very excited about that. So tell us a little bit about the idea to actually do the hybrid event.
Yeah, you know, Miko, that's a great question. So for the Out Georgia Business Alliance and every organization out there during the COVID-19 pandemic that we're still on the tail end of, hopefully, you know, we all had to make a change, you know, pivot. You know, we all hate that word, but we all had to do it. We all had to pivot and really embrace, you know, virtual and digital technologies. So the last 2 years, our summit has been virtual, completely virtual in 2020 and 2021. Now, as we were really thinking about the virtual experience, which we like because it allows folks who may not be close to wherever your event is or may not be available exactly during that timing or be able to travel, it gives them another chance to dial in to the event experience and really take in that content, network with those folks, et cetera. But also as a statewide organization that is, you know, doing more to serve folks around the state and not just in Metro Atlanta, we do think that we're always going to need to have some sort of virtual access and virtual experience so that folks, if they are in Macon or Savannah or Columbus or Augusta that we were just talking about in the last segment, that they've got an easier option to dial in and access content where they may not have to make a commitment. You know, if you're coming from Augusta, my goodness, that's 5-6 hours of just driving that you would have to commit to just to attend an event like this. So we want to kind of try to take down some of those barriers of travel and access, as well as pricing. You know, if you're just dialing in to the virtual experience of the 2 days, so you're right, day one on Wednesday, July 13th is going to be purely virtual. That's the only option we've got. But day two, which is going to be in person live at Truist Park with the Atlanta Braves, we're also going to be broadcasting that through our virtual event platform. So day two is actually a hybrid where there is a virtual only option, or you can be there live and in person. Of course, we hope that if you're comfortable, if you're vaccinated or have a negative COVID-19 test in the last 48 hours, that you feel comfortable joining us live and in person. It's going to be a ton of fun. I'll dive into some details here in a second, but you know, the virtual part of it is really important to our strategy of how we're reaching folks across the state and how we're trying to eliminate some of those barriers to entry.
Gotcha. This is going to be awesome because just being at Truist Park, this time with y'all brand at the forefront, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, of course, you know, you all was a part of the Atlanta Braves annual LGBT night the last time, but this time, this is going to be Out Georgia's night to shine. at Truist Park on that second day. So it's going to be very, very awesome to see all of the LGBT businesses and our allied businesses and all of our corporate representatives to be there at Truist Park for the actual expo and to be a part of this year's Power Connect and our business summit and stuff.
That's
so
right.
It's going to be awesome and wonderful. Kind of go into a little bit about the various seminars that's going to be presented at this year's business summit.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a quick rundown of the agenda. So on Wednesday, July 13th, again, this is our day one and it's purely virtual. We're actually going to be starting the day about 11 a.m. with a virtual expo hall. So all of the folks that are going to be exhibiting, all the businesses that will be exhibiting live on the next day, they'll be able to have a virtual expo booth situation, or if you just want to purchase a virtual expo booth, you can do that at a much cheaper rate. But we'll have a virtual expo hall open up about 11 a.m. But the real meat and potatoes of the day will start at 1 p.m. where we'll have our opening plenary of day one. I'm really excited. We've got Dr. Tyler Nagel, who's the Associate VP of Economic Development for Kennesaw State University, is going to be there to provide some opening remarks and really kind of paint that picture of what sustainable economic development looks like through the LGBTQ plus lens. I'm proud to say that Dr. Tyler Nagel is a member of the Atlanta Mayor's LGBTQ Advisory Board. I helped co-chair the Economic and Community Development Committee. He's one of the members of that committee, but excited to have his deep expertise in sustainable economic development. As part of that opening conversation, we're going to have Terry Dennison, who is the Georgia District Director of the U.S. Small Business Administration, help share all the things that the Small Business Administration does to support LGBTQ businesses and all the resources that are available. There are a ton of things that we pay for as taxpayers already, and Terry Dennison is going to help kind of shine that spotlight on all the resources we already have available and that we can tap into as entrepreneurs, as folks that are considering starting a business, or folks who are seasoned, get that help and support from the Small Business Administration. Then I'm super excited. We've got our keynote for day one is actually going to be Candace Blacknall, who is the CEO and founder of GABA. It's a local tech startup company here in Atlanta. Candace is a Black queer woman who started this company after spending time at Morehouse School of Medicine.
Wow.
And really looking at career paths. And GABA, the company that she founded, is all about connecting folks to professional development, career development, content and resources. Really proud that we're going to have Candace joining us for the keynote and give us some inspiration for day one as we kick it off. From there, we've got 3 sessions in each, so 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and 4 o'clock hour that are going to be power sessions for us. So I will say, don't miss the 2 p.m. session. It's called The Current State of LGBTQ Legal and Legislative Fights. My goodness, with everything going on in the world today, with the Supreme Court decisions that came down here over the last month and the signaling ahead to what we are anticipating from the conservative court over the next year or multiple years. Lambda Legal and Georgia Equality are going to give us a great kind of gut check on where we are, what the current landscape is when it comes to the legislative and legal perspective, but also what we can do to activate around advocacy and really be more informed about how we make a difference and exercise our voice as a business owner or an LGBTQ leader. At 3 p.m., I'm super excited. We're going to be talking about tourism, LGBTQ plus tourism across the state of Georgia. This one's going to be really cool because not only do we have some tourism professionals and folks who have been in that world for quite some time, Bill Kalin, who is with Bill Kalin Marketing here in Atlanta, but does a lot of work with hotel brands and travel brands, but also Mike Vecchio, who is the Director of Sales for the Discover DeKalb Convention and Visitors Bureau and has an LGBTQ focus with them. But I'm proud to say, as I mentioned, a couple of those other Pride festivals, we're actually going to have representatives from Augusta Pride on the call, as well as Savannah Pride,
Awesome.
So we wanted to bring in that perspective of pride festivals that help drive awareness of those businesses in those particular areas and, drive dollars. We know Savannah Pride is a big endeavor that's typically at the end of October. So excited to have those perspectives and really dive into, what does fueling tourism and that business look like, so that we put more dollars into our community in an intentional way. And then we're closing out from a session perspective, day one, with a session called Beyond Visibility, exploring what's next to advance diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. So we have a rockstar panel here that is an intersectional, beautiful panel of experts that are really talking about, okay, if we're talking getting beyond the kind of 101s of LGBTQ inclusion, how are we talking about our Latinx community? How are we talking about our immigrant community? How are we talking about health and wellness when it comes to protecting that for employees and workers here in the state of Georgia? How are we talking about, of course, our trans, non-binary, and gender expansive community? We really kind of want to dive into how organizations can take steps beyond the basics of inclusion work. And then the cool thing is we're closing out day one with a virtual trans and gender expansive business pitch event. So any trans identified or non-binary gender expansive identified business owner or entrepreneur, if you've got an idea or if you've got a current business, if you want to come on, pitch your business, share information, it doesn't have to be a formal presentation. We're going to have a panel of 3 or 4 judges that will provide all positive, constructive feedback about your concept or about your business, and any business that's participating in this event. Your membership fees in the Out Georgia Business Alliance are going to be covered for your first year. Your certification fees with the LGBT business enterprise certification at the national level will be covered, as well as your participation in our summit will all be covered if you participate in that business pitch event. Again, it's centering trans business owners and entrepreneurs. So we're super excited about day one. We've got a lot going on, and then day two, even more fireworks the next day.
Wow, that's going to be awesome, especially everything that you all are doing to reach out to our trans brothers and sisters who are entrepreneurs and small business owners, because that's an initiative that really that hasn't really been done before, but really needs to be done more of, because entrepreneurship really is one of the best ways for our trans brothers and sisters to develop, economic empowerment. You know what I'm saying? Especially, when they're still fighting for their rights as a part of the human family. So I think that is very, very exciting to hear about. And just excited just for the fact that we're going to be at Truist Park. We're going to be amongst all of that commerce that's there at Truist Park. I mean, that's the whole exciting part about that, because I know we're also going to be housed at the Roxy, correct?
We're not going to be at the Roxy, but we're actually going to be in the ballpark. There's an event space called the Delta 360 Club, and it's a large space. It's going to be a really cool experience. It's one big old space. It's on the third baseline side of the park. So it's like, the Roxy is right here. It's kind of like right across the street almost. The cool thing is for all attendees, it's free parking at the Delta parking garage. So free parking all day for this event. We're going to get started on day two on Thursday, July 14th, live at Truist Park, 11 a.m. That's when our Expo area will open up. And that's when we're going to have, we'll probably have about 20 to 25 businesses, corporations, nonprofits that will have, table vendor kind of setups and get to meet each other, network. It's going to be kind of an open networking time at the beginning of the day. 1 p.m., we kind of start off with our opening plenary. We're going to have a video welcome from Mayor Andre Dickens, the mayor of Atlanta, which we're super excited about. Yes. We've got a representative from the National LGBT Chamber of Commerce who's going to join us for opening remarks. We're working on an intro from Derek Schiller, who is the president and CEO of the Atlanta Braves, to help us kick off the event. And then I've got 2 kind of special moments in that 1 o'clock hour on day one. We're going to have a virtual special guest. Their name is Amazon Lafi, and they are an an Asian female identified queer athlete. And they are actually right now they're in Europe. So they're going to be dialing in live for like a live conversation with me. And we're really going to be diving into inclusion in sports and how that is one, being under attack, especially for young folks of the trans experience, but what inclusion in sports means to Amazon and their experience. They're an advocate for Athlete Ally and a number of other organizations. So I think that's going to be a super cool experience. And then we have like the one and only Lisa Cunningham, who is a local treasure who's going to be providing the keynote to close out that 1 o'clock hour. Lisa Cunningham has been involved in the Atlanta film community for quite some time, an inaugural member of the Mayor Bottom's LGBTQ advisory board over the last 4 years, and just is a beautiful, incredible soul. Lisa's going to help close us out with a powerful keynote presentation in that 1 o'clock hour. And then moving along, we've got a 2 p.m. session called Next Level Inclusive Strategies for Business Innovation and Impact. This is talking about the nuts and bolts from supplier diversity to DEI professionals to small business owners. How are they leveraging diversity and inclusion for strategic advantage in their respective organizations and perspectives? So the 3 p.m. hour, we've got a cool session called Out for Good. And this is those businesses and organizations that are making an impact in Georgia's LGBTQ plus business community. So we've got a couple of nonprofit organizations. We've got the co-founder and executive director of Southern Fried Queer Pride, Taylor Alexander.
That's my boy.
We've got the chief development officer of United Way of Greater Atlanta, Chad Dillard, in the house. And a handful of other folks who are going to be leading that conversation. I think that's going to be really cool because we want to make sure we're connecting the dots to folks that are in need. And sometimes we want to shine a spotlight on the businesses and nonprofits that are out there doing the work, investing in that social impact space. And then we're closing out from a session perspective at 4 p.m. with a round called Be Bold, LGBTQ plus entrepreneurs and businesses on the rise. This one's going to be moderated by Roy Broderick Jr., who's the CEO and founder of Authentique Agency, which is a beautiful Black and LGBTQ centric agency here in Atlanta and in Nashville that's doing some fantastic work in our community. We've got a number of other entrepreneurs and owners. And that one's really going to be, let's talk about, spilling the tea on what's on your radar for growth. What are you as an entrepreneur really considering when you're growing your business and really taking that next step of expansion? So super excited about that one. And then we're going to close out today with our Power Connect networking reception. So this is going to close out the entire summit. Starts at 5:30 p.m. at Truist Park. Same location in that same event space. And this one is going to be cool because not only are we going to kind of end the night or end the day with a networking reception, and it's included in your registration fee. So this reception is included, but also we're going to be giving away more than $30,000 in grants to LGBTQ restaurants right here in Atlanta. So we've got 3 that we're going to be giving away some money to, and I'm super excited. We're going to share more about those names as we're going into the event, but it's going to be awesome. So we're giving away money. We're going to be networking at the end of the day and celebrating each other, but we've got a lot of good content too. So come to network, come to learn, and come to really kind of shine a spotlight and celebrate each other.
This is going to be an exciting year for the Alliance, especially with this year's business summit and stuff, because you all really went all out to make sure that not only that the members get these plethora of resources, but that also people who are interested in being involved with the chamber, that they can actually, find out more about what's going to, what the chamber is about, what they do on an annual basis, on an ongoing basis throughout the year. And as well as, everything that they have put their hands on when it comes to community initiatives. So I'm very, very proud, glad to have you as our executive director. And this is your How many years have you been ED?
I
Now?
have been in the role for just over 3 years, so it's hard to believe that 3 years have flown by.
I know.
2
And
years
it's like
of
you
knowing
actually started your tenure right at the beginning of the pandemic.
right.
So to actually, look at what you've done throughout the pandemic and everything like that, which was very challenging in itself for anybody's first year in a leadership role. I'm very proud of you. I have to say congrats on that, man. You all have done a wonderful and a remarkable job in making sure that that the chamber is actually out in the forefront as it relates to economic development and entrepreneurship in our community and stuff like that. So thank you all so much for what you all always do for our community. For those people who are tuned into us right now, get on your keyboard, get on your smartphone, and make sure that you visit www.outgeorgia.org. Once again, that's www.outgeorgia.org, and make sure that you register for this year's Power of Connection, Out Georgia's annual business summit for 2022 that's going to be held at Truist Park, July 13th through the 14th, starting at 10 o'clock a.m. with the virtual summit. And of course, the in-person summit is going to be held on July 14th at Truist Park. So make sure that you register, get in while tickets and everything are available, because we're trying to fill the place up both virtually and in person. So please make sure that you get your registrations in ASAP. You got any final words, Chris?
My final words are, come one, come all. You don't have to be a member of the LGBTQ plus community to, one, be a member of the Out Georgia Business Alliance, but also to participate in our summit. Allies are such a huge part of how we continue to grow, expand, and evolve the protections in the advancement of our community. So please, if you're an ally or you're curious about becoming an advocate and ally, come on down. You're more than welcome at the Out Georgia Business Alliance and our summit. And I also just want to say, Meak Productions, we've now been a multi-year media partner with you all, and we're so honored to have you as an LGBT-owned business enterprise that is doing the work for our community, especially when, some of our media outlets are going away. We appreciate what Meak Productions is doing to stay here and be a consistent voice for the community, period. And we're so honored that y'all are connected to the Out Georgia Business Alliance, that we're going to have you on site at Truist Park on the 14th. But if anyone's curious, please go to our website that Miko mentioned, outgeorgia.org. You've got all the information there. If you have any trouble registering, let me know. Shoot me an email and I'll get you taken care of.
All right, Chris. Once again, thank you so much for coming on our show, and we're so glad to have you. And welcome to our summer season of our shows, because we got a lot of things in store for this season, you all. And we got a couple of announcements that I want to get out the way. Please stay tuned, because we're going to talk about it more in detail on our next episode of Meak Pro Media Special Edition News. We have our upcoming 10-year anniversary celebration of our media partnership with Out on Film. We've been their media partner for 10 years. So this year will be the 10-year anniversary of our partnership with them of Out on Film, Atlanta's largest LGBTQ film festival. And also our 10-year anniversary in being media partners with the Metro Atlanta Association of Professionals as well. So we got some more information concerning that in our next episode. Also, what we have plans for this year's Atlanta Black Gay Pride celebration on Labor Day weekend. This year is the 10th anniversary of the Pure Heat Community Festival, so I want to give them a shout out. Also, we're going to talk about our plans for this year's Atlanta Pride Festival, because we will be marching in the parade this year. So we got more information to talk about on that note. So once again, please continue to follow us on our social media outlets. Don't forget to check out my TGIF, my weekly Facebook Live shout-outs series that I do live on Facebook. Try to do it every Friday or every other Friday. So be sure to check all that information out. All of that information should be located at the bottom of your screen. Chris, can't wait to see you next week.
Likewise, I can't wait to see you.
It's going to be wonderful. Do not forget to go to outgeorgia.org to register for this year's Power of Connection, their annual business summit for 2022, live virtually, online, and also live at Truist Park. Until next time, happy summer season, happy Pride season. We look forward to hopefully hearing from you and seeing you real soon. Take care.